Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome everyone to another video, and today I'm here bringing the highly requested part 3 of things you probably didn't know about Red Dead 2. This video here is simply amazing and you can't miss watching it until the end. I'll be talking about the reason why Arthur Morgan is never mentioned in Red Dead 1. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel here if you enjoy this video and consider becoming a member. So without further ado, let's get to what really matters, which are the things you probably didn't know about Red Dead 2. So let's go there. Number 1. The story of Boy Callaway. Let's start with a very interesting curiosity about the legendary gunslinger's mission line. For those who don't remember, at the beginning of the game, Arthur agrees to help the writer Theodore Levin write the biography of the legendary Boy Callaway, and for that, Arthur meets other legendary gunslingers to ask questions about Callaway's past. All this plot ends up taking us to Roanoke Valley, where we meet the sheriff of Annesburg, Slim Grant, with Callaway. Arthur set up this meeting so that Theodore could write the final chapter of the biography. Everything goes really wrong when Slim Grant refuses to duel Callaway, who, annoyed by the refusal, shoots the sheriff in the back. Shortly after, he deeply regrets his dishonorable act and ends up blaming Arthur and Theodore for it. Arthur ends up killing Callaway, putting an end to the story for Theodore. This ending obviously wouldn't be good for the book, so Theodore agrees with Arthur to change the story for his book.
He was certainly complicated.
I'm sorry I shot him.
No, and you didn't shoot him. He did. In the back, after he mortally wounded Slim Grant. Fair and square.
Yes, that's it.
Last of the gunslingers. Oh, hey, where do I send the money?
Send it to Tacitus Kilgore. No, that ain't my real name.
He says he's going to report that in fact it was the sheriff who shot Callaway in the back, dishonorably hitting him unprotected. Then in the immediate reaction, Callaway shot Slim Grant and both ended up dying from their wounds. The curious thing here is that we can actually read this arranged story when we read the description of Callaway's revolver in the game menu. It is described there that Callaway died from a shot fired in the back by the coward Slim Grant. Another arranged part of the story is that the deaths of the other legendary gunslingers that Arthur shot were credited to Callaway to strengthen his legacy in the biography.
Any good anecdotes?
Anecdotes?
From the old days.
To be honest, things went a little differently. I did shoot a lot of people. I thought that's sort of what you wanted.
Well, I'd, yes, that'll be fine. Do you think anyone noticed it was you?
Noticed? I think the people I shot noticed.
I mean, do you think anyone would mind if we said he'd done it? Boy Callaway.
Sure, I don't care, just as long as...
Share the money? Of course I will. Literature is a filthy business, but sometimes it pays well, especially when you lie.
Unfortunately, we can't read the book in the game, but the description arranged there in the menu shows the repercussions of this book. Number 2. Uncle's dialogue with Swanson. This next curiosity is another one of those great unique dialogues that we might miss if we don't spend a lot of time wandering around the camp. It's a curiosity about a hilarious dialogue between Uncle and Reverend Swanson. It can be seen in the early chapters of the game when the Reverend is going through that really rough phase because of alcohol. I'll let the dialogue speak for itself, so check it out.
Just what did you say to me?
Well, I didn't do it.
I heard that.
Oh, heard what, you crazy fool?
I heard everything you said.
I was sleeping, you lunatic.
Don't make me angry.
Oh, what? Huh? You'll start howling at some other moon? Like this one?
I'm watching you.
Whatever you say.
Delightful, Uncle.
Well, he's cracked in the head, that one.
Seriously, 3 years of Red Dead 2 and I had no idea that Uncle had already mooned Swanson. I'll definitely include this dialogue in the Uncle's origin video, but I would have brought up this curiosity earlier if I had known about this gem back then, because it's actually really good. Number 3. Colm O'Driscoll's redemption. This next Easter egg is certainly one of the most unknown here in this video. It can easily be missed due to 2 factors. The first is that it is located in a missable mission, Mrs. Sadie Adler in the Beaver Hollow chapter, and the second factor, but no less important, is that to see it we need to loot all the remaining corpses in the camp at the end of the mission, even with the police on their way to the location. On the last body you can find a letter from Colm O'Driscoll addressed to Tom, the man Sadie killed in the final cutscene of the mission. With Colm's departure, Tom became the gang's leader. The letter is quite interesting as Colm opens up about his feelings days before his execution in St. Denis. He talks about the regret he feels for some of the choices he made in life, mentions meeting both good and bad people along his journey, and more. And in those bad people that Colm refers to, you can be sure he was referring to Dutch, with whom he was friends at some point in life. The letter is just another veiled ransom request, a ransom that the O'Driscolls even tried to carry out on the day of the hanging, but without success, right? Because of the interference of Arthur, Sadie, and Dutch. The cool thing is that in this letter we discover the circumstances of Colm's imprisonment. He was captured by the authorities for being snitched on by a woman he slept with. It's unclear whether she was a true lover or just a simple prostitute, but that ended up being the reason. This reminds me a little of Al Capone's situation, who committed numerous crimes during his life but ended up being arrested for a stupid reason. But hey, did you know about this letter? I'm sure most of you didn't, so share your thoughts in the comments. Number 4. Dom Pedro II in St. Denis. This next curiosity is one of the most incredible I've come across in the game. In some establishments in St. Denis, you can find a very interesting photograph showing a bearded man in a very iconic pose. By paying attention to the details, you'll notice that he bears a striking resemblance to Dom Pedro II, the second and last emperor of Brazil. It is believed that this reference exists in the game due to Dom Pedro II's historic visit to the United States. He visited the country and explored various interesting places, from factories to prisons. He captivated many people wherever he went because of his striking personality. As a result, the popular joke among Americans emerged of electing Dom Pedro II for the country's presidency, with the election set to take place the following year. The joke gained great proportions to the point that it ended up in the newspapers and beyond, until in the year of the election, the Brazilian monarch received thousands of votes in the state of Philadelphia. That's possible, right? Since the vote was on paper, people could write down the name of whoever they wanted on the ballot. Anyway, let's mark down this very interesting reference to a great figure from Brazil. Number 5. Bar Fight Simulator. Now we're going to talk about some gameplay elements that are unknown to some players, as the game doesn't really make an effort to remind you. This curiosity is about the ability to throw NPCs out the window in a similar way to how Arthur is thrown by Tommy there in Valentine. To do this, simply approach a window and start a fight with someone. To successfully throw an NPC, you'll need to grab them with the action button and hit them until they are knocked out. This way, Arthur will throw some punches at them and toss them out the window. This is a very interesting mechanic that I don't remember seeing Arthur or John doing during the story mode. The only thing I really remember is Arthur being thrown out the window, not the other way around. Number 6. Places to sit on the map. We will continue with the gameplay mechanics, but this time in a non-aggressive mechanic. It's nothing more and nothing less than Arthur's ability to sit in some places on the map just to admire the view. This may seem silly as it serves no practical purpose, but it's actually quite interesting and unknown to most players. You can create wallpapers like this one of Arthur sitting on the edge of a cliff, and it's quite simple. Just approach the cliff near Valentine's camp and press the action button. This way the protagonist will sit down. Then you can have fun taking several photos with the photo mode. These seating locations are quite rare to come across. I myself know very few off the top of my head, but in the description I will leave the link to a post on Reddit authored by user Impossible Pace. He kindly listed several locations where you can sit in the game. The map is quite large, so to see the locations you will need to zoom in on the image. So have fun sitting everywhere and send me your photos. Number 7. People finding the camp. This next curiosity is one of the rarest random events in the whole game. I'm sure the vast majority of you don't know about it. In Chapter 2 of the game, it's possible to witness a super interesting unique event. It usually happens after we read Mary's letter up at Horseshoe Overlook. So after reading the letter, you go to the part where the gang keeps the horses. You'll notice something strange from afar with two men standing in front of Hosea and Bill. They are two local residents who ended up finding the Vanderlinde gang camp. They are a pain, and I'll let the dialogue play out so you can check it out.
You in a circus?
No, sir, we are speculators. We been out west. Ain't nothing there no more, if truth be told, so...
Who's this creepy-looking fool anyhow?
Forgive my friend. He's simple-minded. Dropped on his head as a baby.
So now you're traveling east?
I guess.
Well, we've been hearing talk about problems, and, well, we got enough problems of our own here. We don't need no more.
Who does, sir? Who does indeed?
So I'm guessing we understand one another.
I'm hoping so, sir. You know, many of life's most avoidable tragedies stem from our great inability at basic comprehension. At least that's the way I've always seen things.
Oh. Goodbye.
Well, that was worrying.
We ain't that hard to find here.
I know.
Man, the way Hosea is cool and calm to deal with these situations is astounding. If it were Dutch or anyone else from the gang there, those guys probably wouldn't come out unscathed. I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen strangers finding the gang in other camps. If you have seen it, comment down below where it was along with the link to a video. Number 8. Arthur Morgan's omission. This next curiosity is about something you guys frequently ask me in the comments. Why isn't Arthur Morgan mentioned in Red Dead 1? Well, there are a few reasons for that. The first and most obvious and annoying of all is that the developers simply hadn't written the story of Red Dead 2 at the time of Red Dead 1. So Arthur, or the idea of a prequel telling the gang's story, probably didn't even exist back then. Otherwise, Arthur would certainly be mentioned several times throughout the course of the first game, especially in moments when he met the old members. Man, can you imagine a conversation between John and Dutch in Red Dead 1 without mentioning Arthur Morgan? Of course not. But that was the technical answer to the question. Now I'm gonna give you the second answer, showing the reasons the game gives us for that. During the epilogue, you can see a dialogue between Jack and Abigail, where the boy questions his mother about Arthur Morgan. I'll let this dialogue play out for you.
Arthur. He saved us, didn't he?
You remember that time?
Not much. I was only little.
He did save us, yeah. None of us would be here today if it wasn't for Arthur. But your pa don't like talking about him. Ain't that right, John?
The past is gone. We left that behind.
And as we saw, Rockstar's excuse is simply that John doesn't like to talk about it. The reasons could be several. I believe that John doesn't like to talk about Arthur because of the pain that the memory brings him. Remembering the death of his best friend, who was practically a brother his whole life, is certainly very painful. Of course, this doesn't convincingly explain why Arthur is not mentioned in the first game, but that was the way Rockstar found to gloss over the situation. John may also be finally following Arthur's advice, who repeatedly urged John to leave the past behind. So this could be another major reason. But anyway guys, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it and want to support the channel, just leave your like and become a member. In the meantime, by clicking here on the yellow arrow, you will find out the name of the dark and treacherous character who had no involvement with any gang and was able to manipulate Arthur like no one ever did. So that's it. Big hug to all of you. We'll see you soon. Take care and see you in the next video. Bye!